Welcome to this video in which we preview the upcoming AQE 2022 event. That's the Air Quality and Emissions event, which takes place live in Telford on the 12th and 13th of October. AQE, of course, follows on a over 20-year history of events that originally began or were known as the MCERTS events. And the MCERTS events were set up to focus specifically on the test methods, the standards, the regulations and procedures for monitoring industrial emissions to air. And a big part of AQE remains with that focus. And to that end, today I'm delighted to have with me Dr. Stewart Davies from, he's an environmental advisor at Infinium, a recent chair of the Source Testing Association. And Stewart is a particularly relevant person, not only because he's chairing the first day of AQE 2022, but because Infinium is a company, a waste management company, that is helping the UK to deliver on its commitment to achieve net zero carbon emissions, which is very relevant in terms of the presentations that Stewart will be chairing. So thank you so much for joining me today, Stewart. I wonder if you could very briefly summarise the presentations that will take part in the emissions monitoring section of the first day.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, we have a speaker from the Environment Agency who will talk about regulation. We then have Charlotte Rule from the Environmental Services Association who will talk around environmental strategies and net zero. We have Christian Rieber from Ramboll who will talk about the Bioma technology used to monitor biogenic fraction. Rod Robinson from National Physical Laboratory will then give a talk about monitoring of amines, which will be used in carbon capture technology. Sam Thornycroft from Onvia will provide information around monitoring and equipment supply. And finally, I'll be providing some information on operators' perspective on how biogenic fraction measurement is made in the real world. And it's a very timely moment as we look at the current weather that we're going through with this unprecedented drought that we're experiencing in the UK and the flooding that we're witnessing around the world, that climate change and managing of carbon emissions is going to be with us for a long, long time. So it's part of the UK's approach to net zero is going to be the inclusion of the energy from waste sector in emissions trading, and decarbonisation of that sector is going to be vital. One of the really difficult aspects of the energy from waste sector is that it's a mixed emission of both fossil and biogenic carbon, and therefore measurement of the biogenic fraction is really, really important to us. So one of the key aspects of this session is focusing on how we can monitor effectively emissions of biogenic fraction. And other speakers will also focus on how we can measure the emissions from carbon capture systems that will be in place to reduce those emissions in future.
So would it be true to say that the event will help people to better understand how they can comply with the current regulatory requirements, but also give them a greater insight into the ways in which their organisation can contribute towards the UK's path towards net zero?
Yes, very much so. The regulatory requirements are evolving very quickly at the moment, and it's a whole new sphere of regulation. So we anticipate some significant developments in regulation, which hopefully the regulators will lay out in the meeting. Mm-hmm. And also we have significant journey to go on in terms of the deliverability of the initiatives that are coming along and how we will demonstrate compliance with those regulations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Stuart. And the only other thing I wanted to say is that, of course, the AQE event includes an international exhibition. So a lot of the technology and service providers from around the world will be there. And so visitors, with it being a live event at last, will have the opportunity to go and meet experts and talk to them about the technologies and the methods and procedures that are developing. And also the AQE event is being run alongside the WWEM event, which is Water, Wastewater and Environmental Monitoring. So, of course, a lot of the people who are interested in this have overall environmental responsibilities, not just emissions to air. So they will also be able to gather an enormous amount of information on wastewater emissions, for example. So with so much going on, it really is important that people plan their visit as early as possible, because there's going to be a lot of things going on at the same time. So you will be free to register and free to go along, but you'll need to plan your visit, because you'll need to jump in and out of sessions quite efficiently if you're to make the most of your time. So, you know, I would urge people to go to ilmexhibitions.com and register. You can register for free now. I've done it myself, takes about 20 seconds. And once you're registered, you'll be able to network with other people and plan your visit. So I hope that people will do so. I hope that what Stewart has explained for us will encourage them to do so. So thank you so much for your time, Stewart, and I look forward to seeing you in Telford.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. See you soon.
Okay, thanks, Stewart.